Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be reviewing day number 4 of training camp for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you guys are new, go ahead and subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated. If you do like these training camp review videos, go ahead and hit the like button and leave your thoughts about what you hear down in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear and see your guys' thoughts and comments. And we are getting some info from Buccaneers.com, Greg Auman and Pewter Report. Again, their info will be in the pinned comment in the comment section down below. But for a more fun note, I was actually there today for this practice. I saw a decent amount of the practice, and yeah, it was still hot, it was still humid, and there was some rain, and we will get to that when we get to it, but yeah, that didn't help in terms of humidity or anything like that. No roster moves to report yet again for today's practice, and for players who were out of this practice, Raven Green, OJ Howard, Jordan Whitehead, all the guys on the PUP list like we talked about. Some new names. Cam Gill was not practicing today. No reason was given as to why. Ryan Jensen, Tom Brady, and Rob Gronkowski all had vet days today, so they just had the day off, which was a cool thing to see. Tom Brady was still out there, though, by the way, and we will get to what he did in practice in a little bit. And then I believe Chris Godwin was not practicing. I did not see him on the field. That might change. If it does, I'll definitely leave a comment in the comment section, but I didn't see Chris Godwin out there. Again, I'm sure it's nothing that's a big deal, just precautionary. It's still very early on in training camp. Now to get to some of my notes, KJ Britt seemed fine following his ankle concerns yesterday. For those of you who didn't watch yesterday's video, KJ Britt had came up limping off the field due to some type of ankle concern. Greg Auman said he looked to be okay, and it seemed like that was the case as he seemed absolutely fine today. He was running around and didn't seem hampered at all with his ankle. Another player who actually did a very good job was Ladarius Hamilton. He looked very fast during individual drills before they got into some scrimmage type stuff. It was honestly pretty impressive to see how fast he was. He was a guy who got praise from Bruce Arians yesterday, and yeah, I can see what Bruce Arians was talking about. The dude is pretty darn fast. In fact, I would go as far to say as he was one of the faster players I saw on defense today in terms of linebackers and D-linemen and things like that. I mean, he's got some good speed to him. In terms of returning kickoffs today, it was Cyril Grayson. We didn't really see any of, say, Scotty Miller or Jaydon Mickens or, Jalen Darden. It was mainly Cyril Grayson throughout the entirety of the early portions of practice. I did go to this training camp with Rhett Matthew from the Cannon Fire podcast, by the way, so shout out to him. And, Grayson did an all right job returning kicks. Overall, he was fine. Speaking of more wide receivers, Scotty Miller and Jalen Darden did have a couple of drops in practice throughout individual drills, but I'm going to give them a pass today. It was raining, and it's very hard to catch a football in the rain if you have ever tried to do that, and yeah, it was difficult for those guys. The rain was coming down at certain points. It doesn't make their job any easier. It's just unfortunate that it's been two guys who have struggled with drops at points throughout training camp already, but they did have their good moments during practice as well, which we will get to in a little bit. Antonio Brown was back in a big way today and made multiple great catches throughout practice, and he did, return in some capacity in day number 3, but in day number 4 today, he was making one-handed grabs, he was making tough catches left, right, and center. He was doing Antonio Brown things. So for everybody who, is hoping that he's getting back up to speed and working his way back from his knee procedure, yeah, he's doing that. He definitely looked like, phenomenal Antonio Brown, and it was very fun to watch. Trask and Gabbert actually did struggle with some passes early on, but the rain could have been a solid contributor for that. Trask, specifically in the deep ball, couldn't find the mark a couple of times, and then Gabbert had a couple of passes that were behind his target or just a little bit out of their reach. But again, it's wet, it's rainy out there. That makes everybody's job harder. So again, much like in the case of Scotty Miller and Jalen Darden, I'm willing to give them a little bit of a pass on that. Tom Brady, again, wasn't practicing, but get this, and you're just going to have to believe me because I don't have photos or video of it or anything. He was rolling out for passes on play action. He was in the role of a running back, and he was getting runs up the gut. It was phenomenal to see. I started cheering for Brady once I saw that that was happening. Everybody else around me started cheering as well. And then Tom did the feed me more spoon motion. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. It was seriously wonderful. I believe Rhett might have some footage of it over at the Cannon Fire podcast of him taking some running back snaps. Go check out his video for that. I'm sure I'll have that linked at some point in the community tab. But yeah, Brady playing running back, and he even played a little bit of cornerback as well today. He didn't move or anything. He was 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. He was just basically a body there for the wide receivers to get by. But yeah, watching Brady technically play cornerback and running back today was probably my favorite part of the practice that I saw. Another quarterback who was doing some fun things was actually Ryan Griffin today. He had a really, really sharp practice. He was making good throws basically to any target he had. You know, Griffin really did set himself apart today from, say, Gabbert and Trask, who might have struggled a little bit in the rain. Griffin did good. So it's definitely gonna be an interesting situation with Griffin. I really hope that they will be able to stash him on the practice squad. I still don't know if he's gonna be able to beat out a guy like Gabbert, and there's no way he's gonna beat out a guy like Trask. I'm just worried that if they get rid of him, if they waive him, another team might scoop him up. I mean, there's a lot of teams who could use a backup quarterback, and, you know, fingers crossed that the Buccaneers can be able to get a guy like Griffin on that practice squad. Running back Ronald Jones actually continued to look really good in practice today, ran hard on every play. Even after contact, he was running all the way down the field to finish the play and just show that he means business. Now, Leonard Fournette, Giovani Bernard, and Keshawn Vaughn also did those same exact thing, as did Troy Maine Pope and CJ Prosise, just all the running backs trying really hard, you know, running hard. Obviously, you know, we put a microscope under Ronald Jones because he's in a contract year. I guess so is Leonard Fournette, but, yeah, just to give more continuity for Jones, he continued to look good in this practice, as did the other running backs running hard on every play. Joe Tryon continued to look good. He had what would have been a sack on Kyle Trask during today's practice, just completely blew by the offensive lineman. I couldn't tell you which guy it was, but Tryon did a very good job as a pass rusher today. And you know what? So did Will Golston. I thought that Will Golston did a very solid job in terms of pass rush, getting pressure on the quarterbacks. There was one play where I believe it was Will Golston who tried to chase Blaine Gabbert, but Gabbert is an elusive gift of Gabbert, and he made a very awesome scrambling play on that down specifically. But overall, again, Will Golston had a good pass rushing day, and so did Joe Tryon, just continuing to build up that momentum that he has given himself the past couple of days. Javon Hagan had a very nice pass breakup against TJ Simmons, who, you know, Hagan's been having to work in more of a almost borderline starting role with some of the safeties being out over the past couple of days of practice. He really is battling hard for that fourth safety spot. He's getting momentum as well. TJ Simmons is a good wide receiver in his own right. He hasn't been bad during these practices at all. He's got really good hands, and I think Simmons is a big, you know, athletic wide receiver, so good job for Hagan for getting a win during that rep there. Going back to the defensive line, Khalil Davis looked good in run defense today. Another guy who Bruce Arians gave praise to just a day ago. He is, again, continuing to do some good things with pass rush, and now in today's practice, he was doing some good things in the run game. So he's getting more balanced overall, putting some more overall completion to his game. Another player who's been getting a lot of praise is CODEY MCELROY. I mean, that dude was probably the best receiving target the Buccaneers had today. I do fully believe that. He made a couple of really nice catches today. He won a matchup against Devin White, who was in pass coverage against him, for a nice play. And Bruce Arians even gave McElroy praise after practice, saying he had a hell of a day. So, hey, shout out to CODEY MCELROY. He really did have a very, very solid practice, especially with guys like Cam Brate, Gronk, OJ Howard all being out. There was more of a spotlight on him, Jarrell Adams, and Tanner Hudson, and CODEY MCELROY, I think, came away today the best out of the bunch for today's practice, which is going to make things even more interesting because Jarrell Adams has had some good days of practice, Tanner Hudson's been doing some Tanner Hudson things, and now you have CODEY MCELROY who's getting moving. Like, this competition is so good. All the competitions seem to be so good in my opinion. And again, iron sharpens iron, man. Shaq Barrett had a good day pass rushing, had a sack against Ryan Griffin, as did Ndamukong Suh. So again, more good pressure pass rushing abilities from some of the Buccaneers starters. You love to see that. Jaydon Mickens had a really good day as a wide receiver, making multiple good catches throughout practice. Nate Brooks almost had an interception off of a deflection from Javon Hagan. So again, another good play there from Javon Hagan. Brooks almost had it. It was literally off of his fingertips. I saw the play. And overall, again, that competition for that 5th cornerback job, it's intense. It's still going strong, and I think it's still anybody's game at this point. Vita Vea did Vita Vea things during this practice, and you really do forget how much of an absolute beast, a brick wall, just a monster of a human being that Vita Vea is until you see him in person. He literally looked like a square wall of a human being. That is the best way I can describe Vita Vea during this practice. My jaw literally dropped. I'm not even joking or saying that for dramatic effect. Like, that was just my reaction to seeing Vita Vea. It's been a while, right? I haven't seen him in person in a while, and the dude just looks absolutely massive. Even, standing next to other defensive linemen, just literally square brick wall. That's Vita Vea. It was honestly, it was astonishing to see Vita Vea. I mean, he's a beast. He's an absolute beast. But at 9:46 a.m., guys, about an hour and 50 minutes into practice, we were told to go home because of the lightning. It is what it is. There was some lightning in with the rain. They immediately booked it. They said, nope, we're going inside. Sorry, folks, we'll see you later. I will be back at Friday's practice for training camp, so hopefully it doesn't rain that day. Fingers crossed. But overall, I was happy with everything that I saw. All the notes that you've heard me say up to this point were my own personal observations, and the last few notes here are from guys like Pewter Report, Greg Auman, among some other sources. So Ross Cockrell had an interception off Kyle Trask in some goal line work at the red zone, but Kyle Trask would later on have a very nice touchdown to Josh Pearson during the same period of practice. Josh Pearson actually had a pretty decent day as well. Sean Murphy-Bunting had an interception off of a deflected pass from Blaine Gabbert. So like I said, both those guys kind of struggled today. It is what it is. Again, nobody freak out about Kyle Trask. He is a rookie. He's playing like a rookie. Let's give the kid some time. He's not being thrown into the starting lineup anytime soon. And in the case of Blaine Gabbert, guys can have an off day, especially with rain and things like that. Not everybody can be the GOAT, and I guess not everybody can be Ryan Griffin either. But, yeah, Trask and Gabbert just were a bit off today. Antonio Hamilton actually had a pretty decent day in pass coverage today, getting a couple of pass breakups and forcing a fumble on Jaydon Mickens. Also, D. Delaney had a pretty decent day overall in pass coverage. So again, like, nobody's breaking away in terms of that 5th cornerback battle. It is just going to keep on dragging out until there's like 3 guys left, I think. And I really think that in terms of like preseason games, that's where you might start to see some guys breaking away from the pack. So we'll just have to wait until that, because so far, guys have been making plays left, right, and center for that 5th cornerback job. Couple of more notes here. Jarrell Adams did have a couple of nice catches throughout practice, including a touchdown, which I believe was from Kyle Trask. And then Robert Hainsey was the starting center in practice today, with Ryan Jensen being out for a vet day. And overall, he did do a really good job, minus 1 bad snap, which I did see. It wasn't too bad. Bruce Arians did give him credit after practice, saying he did very good with the starters, which, for those of you who don't know, Robert Hainsey, he's been working exclusively as a center. We've been talking about this since the rookie minicamp. He's been working with A.Q. Shipley. He's been working with Byron Leftwich, Clyde Christensen, and all the guys he needs to. He's getting the support and the mentorship that he needs to be a good center in this league, and so far he's doing a very, very good job. So, overall, guys, that's it for these notes. I mean, it was a good day of practice. Unfortunate that I couldn't see all of it, but holy crap, I am so happy that I got to see Tom Brady, technically be a cornerback and a running back for the Buccaneers today. He was getting runs right up the gut. He was doing this, man. It was so fun to watch. I started cheering. I got the crowd cheering. What a moment. What an absolute moment. He was taking out, play action, running back swing passes. It looked beautiful. The man even got a couple of tossing plays. I'm just saying, I don't know if that's in their book of special trick plays, but Who knows, man? I'm just saying, you give Tom Brady a tossing play, have Vita Vea be the lead blocker, sign me up for that. Well, maybe not sign me up for that. Come on, you'd love to see it. I know you would. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, what you think about what, in my opinion, was a very fun 4th day of training camp practice. We'll still be doing these in the coming days here, but just a reminder, I will be at Friday's training camp practice. So if you are there and you do see me, I'll be wearing probably like a Tom Brady gray shirt. Say hi, and we can hang out and talk about some Buccaneers football and overall have a good time. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs!